My name is Victor Lana, artist and songwriter as well. When I was younger, I love performing in general. And when I was younger, it was sparked through family. My family would always kind of get together, and those get-togethers, no matter the reason, would always lead into music, into us being in a circle playing guitar, and my dad or grandpa just telling funny stories through music. So through a lot of ups and downs and different parts of life, music's always kind of called me back, right? And so I've now understood this is my calling, since it keeps calling. So honestly, I struggle to pinpoint one specific moment. I'm just really grateful and happy with the way my career is going now. I would say if I pinpoint maybe a specific moment, it was the moment where I decided and kind of said to the universe that music is for me, and so I'm pursuing this full time. I would say that was around 2019-ish, after leaving music to pursue acting, and then leaving music again to pursue working in sport, and I got to work with the Raptors for a year. But when I finally realized this is my gift, this is where I'm meant to be, I would say that the highlight was the moment where I said, okay, if this is where I'm meant to be, let me dive head in. And from there, the universe has collaborated, has kind of shown me yes, you're now in agreement with your purpose. It's music. So I grew up kind of with the guitar in my hand. That's how I learned about music from the jump, from my dad. And so whenever I'm composing, or whenever I have some time, I'll take my guitar and start doodling. And without fail, that'll usually, turn into a couple of riffs. I guess my process is I start with a guitar. I try to, improvise some melodies and some words here and there, but just kind of letting the vibe flow. I have this belief or understanding that music is vibration and it's frequencies. And literally, if you look at sound waves, it's literally vibration, right? So I try to kind of keep a channel open to receive that vibration. I try to, vibrate positivity, and it's my personal mantra, right? To vibrate positivity and to be a mirror for the positivity that the world kind of shines onto me. So I'd say that's my process right now, just keeping my channel, my chakras open. It's been quite a while. I would say I have been fortunate to have this career, let's say, or have a space in the music industry for almost 20 years now. Probably 20 years now. And it's changed so much from even from a live performance space. But I would say kind of the biggest change from when I started is very much a focus on labels and the gatekeepers. You had to call the attention of a gatekeeper, a label, if you will, in order to get your music out there, get yourself heard, in order to be present in the industry. So now it's democratized things for independent artists to be able to release their own music, to share their own stories through social media, to connect with their own audience and really have that community, that relationship, without needing to be signed to a major label, or without needing to have someone kind of backing you up, without needing to sell your soul, so to speak. Now you are able to connect with your fans directly. So if I'm releasing a song, I need to have a visual element to it, right? And for me as an artist, I love control. I love to be in control. I love to have this kind of say over my art. It is a part of me, right? And I'm not making it out of a cookie cutter. There's emotion in there. So Rotor is a great platform that helps me actually be in control of what that video looks like, of what that process looks like. I hate not having that control and that ownership. And I think Rotor, on top of that, because I get to peek behind the curtain and see kind of where it's going, I think it's going to be even more useful, leveraging technology, leveraging AI. Something like an Apple Motion art, where for me as an independent artist, it's so impossible to get that made, to whether I'm paying someone to do it or I'm trying to do it myself, and then for whatever reason it gets rejected at Apple. That is a frustrating process, but it is something that I do have to, you do have to do as an artist, right? That helps you get algorithmic placements. It helps you get that kind of boost in streams. but it's so kind of impossible to fit into these little boxes. A platform like Rotor makes it easy for me, where all I have to do is upload my album art, and in a few clicks, like, the video's done. That's huge, you know? I think it's been great to have this sort of centralized marketplace. You know, having been in the industry before, I kind of understand, you know, the piracy aspect of it, where people believe that music is culture, and so it needs to be kind of free and accessible. And I think that's where, like, streaming platforms really came in, and that was the strength, right? It was like, yes, you could have a million songs for free by downloading it illegally, or you can have every single song that you've ever thought of here, and all you have to do is pay us $10. Like, they simplified it. It's like, either get it illegally and then you have viruses and then you have all these other worries, and then also, where are you going to listen to it? You know, like, you have to have that with you all the time. Here, we've made a centralized way. Everybody's getting paid for what they are. I think it's a great way of connecting to your fans directly. I don't think it should be the main focus for artists. I think despite having this platform like a Spotify or a Deezer, you still, as an artist, you have to own that relationship with the fan. You have to be in front of them. Like, I did a panel in Brazil recently, and they were asking, like, what are the, you know, how do you go about marketing your song? And one of the things that kind of came to me, but I love this quote, is like, I am not the marketing person for Spotify. I'm the marketing person for Victor Lana. So if I'm sending an ad to someone, if I'm, you know, making a piece of content, it's not to get you to Spotify. Although, yes, if that's where you listen to music, great. I want you to know me. I want you to know my song. I want you to know my story. That's what's going to make people eventually listen to you. It's not because they saw an ad on Instagram and said, hey, go to Spotify. Check out this song from this guy you've never heard of. Oh, probably a million things differently. It's a good question. Like, I don't look back and think, oh, this is what I would have done differently. Or I look back and think, okay, how will this impact me moving forward, right? Like, I think I've seen myself get too stuck in this, like, oh my gosh, what, I should have done this or that, like, thinking about the past, but nothing really changes it. I also believe that, like, every moment that I've lived, or you've lived, or we've lived, has led us to here and now, right? So if you could change something, then you wouldn't be here where you are now. I try to always reflect and, one, see how far I've come. I think for all independent artists and you that are watching, it's important for us not only to look ahead and see, like, the steps that need to be taken, but every now and then look behind, right? I have this little crude stickman drawing in my studio that's like a stickman going up a staircase, and it basically, like, it's written in Portuguese, but it's like, if you only look forward, like, you'll only see how far you have to go. But if you look backwards, you'll see, dang, look how far I've already come, you know? Look how much I've already climbed to get to where I am now. And I think that's important for me. That's, you know, in terms of reflecting, I always do make time to reflect, but can't change the past, baby. You can only look forward. I want to play a festival, a big festival. I want to tour through Europe. I want to have this kind of tour. Honestly, though, my biggest goal, and, like, even when I imagine, like, playing a festival, it's not because of the money or fame or whatever. It's because I want to be, like, in that environment with, like, a bunch of creatives and artists backstage, a bunch of just music lovers of all kinds of genres just there for a good time. Like, I guess you could tie all of those in to be, like, my base goal right now is to create a community through music. And right now that community is shaping up to be a lot of, like, cool artists and creatives, not just musicians, but videographers, visual artists, painters, like, editors, and just being able to connect with people, like, through music, through the happiness, or through the very human, very emotional thing that is music, you know?